Unexpectedly.
Same time next week. So
all right, y'all. We are live on this newest episode of My Turn, My Truth, where when it's your turn, you tell your truth. Right now, you're looking at the Rice Man. Who else we got with us today?
Mara.
Morgan.
Morgan, you look gonna say.
Okay, I'm literally such a creature of habit. Okay, yeah, I'm Marielle. Nice to meet you guys.
Morgan. It's your girl Kim. Follow me on TikTok and Instagram at m.kennedii. Y'all know.
And then it's just me, EJ. Hey, how y'all doing?
All right. So we're back. Marielle's still laughing over there.
Oh boy, that was funny. That was a good icebreaker.
I gotta send that.
We got to shake it up to make sure y'all know who's who. She did that on purpose.
That's right. See,
right.
If y'all
so that you know she was Marielle, but we wanted to see did you know.
Right. That's right.
No, we didn't.
So we have quite a few topics today, different styles and types of topics. I have one I want to start off with because of the nature of our environment now in the United States. We know that things are strained on several sides. So I have something that I want to talk about and see if I can get your responses on. Again, always tune in Mondays at 8:30. That's where we're on. So we're going to try this. Let's see if y'all can hear it this way. I was unable to get something to play out of the on the screen, but listen intently. Okay.
8 of us around a campfire.
Okay, hold on. Let me try
so if it is 8 of us around a campfire, and it's 4 blacks and then 4 whites, and we all are starving, and if we don't eat, we're all gonna die. If it's an African American in charge, we're gonna cut it up into 8 pieces. We're gonna, you get one, you get one, you get one, you get one. I said, what would y'all do? And he said, well, if it's me and my family, I'm gonna cut it up into 4 pieces, and I'm gonna give it to my family because it's my job to take care of our family first. And it wasn't malicious. It was, this is what we've been taught to do. We take care of our own, and then after we are good, then we will look out to try to. So it's an overflow mentality. While African Americans, we have a mentality of, hey, I'm my brother's keeper. Right. I'm responsible for everyone in the room, even if you don't look like me. Yeah, and that is essentially a kingdom idea, but for him, that's not a bad thing. For him, it's a responsible thing, a stewardship thing. I am responsible for them. I'm not responsible for you, but I need to make sure they're straight first. But if you look at that mentality and how it's grown over the decades and over the centuries, you can see it play out in business. This is why many of the Fortune 500 companies are run by white individuals, because there is this sense of we're going to take care of our people, our family, our friends, and that is how they've been able to maintain power and then transition it. And I do think we can be so communal that we don't take responsibility for the things we probably need to get it all where it needs to be, even as a culture. Yeah. We give it away. So if it is 8 of us around.
Okay, so I want to know, do y'all agree with his take? And basically he's saying, I don't know how well it transferred, the audio came across, but it was 8 people at a campfire. If it's a black person in charge and they were starving, 4 whites and 4 blacks, that the black person that's in charge would just cut it into 8 pieces. Everybody's going to get their piece. Right. And if he asked the white guy, what would you do? He said, well, I'm going to cut it in 4 because I have to take care of mine first. And then if I have extra, if I have overflow, then I would take care of everyone else. And the reason why I want to play this today, because how it is, how we're the new Make America Great seems like we're going to take care of ours first, and the immigrants stay over there, y'all stay over there. We can't take care of y'all yet. We will take care of the aid that we were giving to everyone else is being cut off, so we can make America great first and take care of ourselves first. And the majority, of course, is white, where black people will just take care of everybody and try to just, we're all even, we're all the same, we're all people, we're all human. Let's work it that way. That's why there are a lot of black people in DI or that said we're going to hire the best candidate. And where they would say, I'll hire my friend or my cousin or my homeboy, this person first, to preserve what we have. and that was his take. Do y'all believe that to be true? Or do y'all see that play out? Or do y'all see something different?
Go ahead.
I'll go ahead and say I don't really see either of, like, I can see both points. I can see wanting to feed your family first, but I can also see wanting to make sure that all of us eat. Because at the same time, if you're stranded with these 4 people, I'd rather have everybody on my team than now I'm not looking out for these people and I didn't give them any food. So say they get food somehow, some way. And now you gotta watch your back now. But I can see a father or a mom saying, I gotta look out for my kids or my family first. And just like we watched The Walking Dead. In The Walking Dead, we gonna look out for us. And y'all can come along, but these 4 people is who I'm looking out for first. And if it's you or my family member, it's you. So I mean, I understand.
So, but it wasn't. That was a blended family.
I was,
Rick, Miss Shawn was black. Glenn,
Yes.
Glenn was Hispanic. I mean, well, not Hispanic or Asian. So there was a mixed blend of everyone to make a family, not a divided family.
Yeah, I'm not just saying that though. I'm just saying like the group that you came with.
Who you call family.
Right.
Who was all family. There you go.
Because Rick and them was looking out for their people when they went over to Negan people. You killed one of our people, now we mad at you. We don't like you. Y'all killed my people, we don't like you. So it's just kind of like, I'm going to look out for my people. So I don't see nothing wrong with that, but I would rather have, if there's enough to go around, I would rather be able to split it equally and have more people on my team than having to look over my back every 5 seconds because I didn't, look out for everyone if I can.
And that would be the assumption that if you help fed them that day, that they would be part of your team.
Right. Because you can help feed them, they still won't be part of your team.
Right.
I mean, that's getting them more on your team than off the bat they hate you.
I mean,
all
right, go ahead.
I was going to say, it definitely reminds me of, it's like a representation of back in the day. I mean, even as like slaves, you guys were the last, you guys got the scraps, if there were leftovers. And so it just reminds me of that. White people are for themselves and it's a selfish thing. And then, like I said, you guys get the scraps, and that's what that reminds me of.
I'm happy you said that because it's going to lead me into my response. So I actually said this already. So I don't know if I'm going to say it exactly how I said it before when me and Marlon was just talking about it. But in that scenario, based on just the scenario, the 4 blacks, the 4 whites, and they had enough food to feed everybody. And like he said, the black person looked at everybody there and said, we're going to split this evenly 8 ways because it's 8 people here. Whereas the white person, and I think both of them have valid points. Where the white man said, I'm taking care of my family first. And then if there is any left, then he going to give out of his overflow. And what I was thinking was, black people have always came from an oppressed position.
Right.
So with that being said, we have the compassion to look at someone else's need and be wanting to fill that need.
Correct.
I agree.
Whereas in that scenario, you're and then on not just the scenario itself, but in listening to the latter part of the conversation, we were saying that when you look in businesses and things today, that's even how they operate.
Right.
But it's like, to me, I feel like they're operating that I'm going to take care of those who look like me, even if they're lesser qualified,
100%.
they're still going to get it because they are a representation of me.
Yeah.
Whereas with blacks, we're like, okay, we're looking at it as a whole, who's best qualified to do this or who's in need and who need our help. And we are willing to fill in the gap because we don't want nobody to feel the plight that we once felt or our ancestors once felt. So I feel like that's why we have, and not to say that the other person wasn't giving. I'm not saying that at all, because there's plenty of white people that are very generous and very giving.
Absolutely.
So that's not what I'm saying, but I'm just saying in this scenario and how he answered that question, to me, I felt like it was holding up back what you were saying. They're going to go first, and it's representing what they always want. They want that
superiority.
Thank you. They want that. And that's who they're going to take care of first.
Right. And I think there's one more piece of what he said to go along with what you said, babe. That he said that this is how we were taught.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
That was a key point in what I
That was
heard.
a key point. Yeah.
That they were taught to take care of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Then when there's overflow, then we will.
Mm-hmm.
And I really agree with your point, babe. I didn't see it that way until you said it, that we know what hunger feels like.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
We know what, not having it feels like. We know what not having money, not having medicine, not having this, not having the things that you need. And we don't want anybody to feel like that if possible.
Right.
So if I can cut it 8 ways and they can eat and I can eat, we both can eat.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Even though I could eat more if I cut it in 4.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I don't want them to be hungry.
Right.
Because I know that feeling and I've seen that, I've been there, and I don't want that person. I would just eat less.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that was big to point out, because that's how I feel. If I'd have been asked that question, you said we had enough for all of us, then all of us get some. It was an easy answer in my mind.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then he said, the other guy said, that's how I was taught. I was taught to take care of mine. I'm a steward of my people or my family. And once they're good, then I will look outward. And there is a different mentality there. And I'm not saying that it's the white mentality versus black mentality.
Right, because it's black folks.
But there are two different, there are absolutely two different mentalities.
Right.
And I think, though, when you look at the nature of our country and our president now,
Correct.
he appears,
That's
and I could be wrong,
Mm-hmm.
but it appears that he is, hey, we're going to make sure this, when he disbanded DEI, he did it because he felt that white men were the ones being discriminated against out of all this. So he said, no, we're not going to do it. We're going to make sure we take care of why he's a white man. He said, we're going to do this right here. We're going to make sure this, then we'll do whatever else. And we'll see if anybody's being oppressed and see if anybody's, so it was that mentality first seems to be how our nation is turning now, how we're turning our backs on some of our allies and some of the people that we used to support and things like that, and inward to our actual, people in the United States. So you're starting to see that mentality. And I didn't know, and I want to know if anybody felt like that illustration was something similar to what we're seeing now.
I definitely do. I would say that only because, take most of the Fortune 500 companies, or just companies in general. They will keep you or manipulate you and edge you on with small incentives and stuff that will keep you coming back while only using you for the time being. But once you're done, there's another woman, another man, no matter what color, race, gender, they're gonna fill that seat in.
Mm-hmm.
So back to, you take the 4 white folks and the 4 black folks. Just it depends on the mindset of the person who's in charge.
That's right.
Mainly.
That's right.
Solely the whole point of the conversation. Because like you said, there are some white people or some Caucasian people who definitely do feel like everyone needs a fair share.
Absolutely.
But if you put me in that spot, I definitely would take the route of the Fortune 500 company. I only say that because it's you look at a lot of people, especially with black-owned businesses, all y'all do is hire black people. A lot of black people don't want to show up to work. They don't like to work. They don't like to do a lot of stuff. So the minute you hire someone that's of other ethnicity or race, they get offended. But it's just you're not doing the simple things. I've already done the hard stuff. I just need you to show up. So me, I'm going to use each and every person that wants to come and show up to the best of my abilities to get my folks hired. So if we were the 4 people, the 4 black people, yes, I'm going to feed everyone. Everyone's not going to get a full share. But my 4, yes, they're going to get a full share. But the other 4, I'm gonna edge you on along to the point where I don't need you no more, and then you're done.
So, and one other thing I did want to say, he didn't say the 4 black people were family and the 4 white people were family.
Correct.
That's not what he said.
He never said that.
It could be 4 black people that didn't know each other and 4 white people. None of them could know each other. It just said 8 people.
I'm still choosing.
So you see.
So he went on in the latter part of the conversation and said that's how they were taught in family, That's when he brought that perspective in.
Right.
So those are it could, like Marlon said, it could have just been random people that's just sitting there. But the white person that was in charge shows to go the mindset of I'm looking at the people that look like me first. That's who gets it first. But going back to but how EJ just explained it, I think he explained it perfectly. It depends on the mentality of that person.
The leader, the person in charge.
Because look at all of the presidents that we now had before us in their mentality. and then you see the person that is leading us now and their mentality.
Right.
And even when Obama was leading his mentality,
Yes.
everything shifted according to that person's mentality.
Absolutely.
And the entire world or team felt that.
That's right.
So,
But I do feel like that is the mentality as a white person. I feel like that's the way Trump thinks. He is about the white people, as he would say.
Definitely.
And everything that he does just depicts that. It shows it clearly, states that. He's said it verbally. So I just feel like that's how his mentality is. And I feel like a lot of white people, even their biases, obviously go straight towards that.
Right.
So
I have one more point to make
mhm,
on this. It's the scripture that I didn't look up because I just thought of this.
mhm,
Black people have had to have faith to make it,
mhm.
yeah,
Yes.
not resources.
right.
Faith, because sometimes that's all we had. We had to just trust God that He
Absolutely.
would be God. And there's a scripture that says, we need to be more like the birds or the animals, because they don't wake up every day, oh my God, we're gonna die today. They just go out and hunt for food and hope that God provides.
Right.
And that's been the mentality of Black people.
Right.
Once we give out this 8, we got to find some more. That's it. God will provide.
Because it ain't
He'll
coming
bring
out,
more, and we'll have more tomorrow.
Yeah.
But we have to go hunting after we get through eating these 8 portions. We got to go because we have the faith that we'll stay alive. We'll get more food because we've had to live like that.
Mhm.
So I just wanted to point that out because if you have never been in need, then you don't understand the pain of people that have. It's harder to empathize or have compassion for the people that
situation
have been
you
in
don't
need.
And then,
understand.
and because you have flipped it to scripture or spiritual, that's one of the points that the guy made as well, because he said that's a kingdom mindset.
mentality. That's
The
right.
kingdom mindset is to make sure that everyone have, and
Everyone's
even Jesus said, what you've done to the least of these, you've also done unto me.
That's
So
right.
you fed the poor when they were hungry, so therefore you fed me.
That's
you
right.
gave them a drink when they were thirsty, so therefore
That's right.
you gave me a drink.
Right.
So it's like he's looking at, okay, yeah, you may be to the point where you are living out of abundance, but that abundance is not what he's looking at.
And that abundance
He's-
isn't guaranteed.
Exactly.
Right.
But that abundance is not
Not
going
what-
to
that's
inherit you to the kingdom of God.
That's right.
So he's looking back at what you're pouring back into others.
That's right.
And what you're doing unto others. And that's how he is, not judging
That's
your,
right.
your fruit,
That's
the
right.
fruit,
And
the
your
fruit of
heart.
your labor.
Are you serving
Mhm.
those?
Mhm.
I found the scripture. I believe it's Job 12, and it's this is the GW version. It just, a person who has an easy life has no appreciation for misfortune.
Mm.
He thinks it is fate of those who slip up, but robbers' tents are prosperous, and there is security for those who provoke God, for those whose God is their power. Instead, ask the animals and they will teach you, ask the birds and they will tell you, or speak with the earth and it will teach you. Even the fish will relate to you. What creature doesn't know that the Lord's hands made it? The life of every creature and the spirit in every human body are in his hands.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I like that. Amen.
All righty then.
Well, that was
There they go.
mine. Hopefully, we were able to
I
chop
think
that up a
was
little
good.
bit.
That was good.
Okay.
This way.
So we're going next. Who we going next?
Mary.
Okay.
So I was watching this video. It was a podcast of this group of guys, and there was a couple girls. But one of the guys, I guess they were talking about having girlfriends and like sleeping around and stuff like that on top of having a girlfriend. And one of the guys made a remark, and he was like, "I feel like men love women with less conditions than like women love men." And I don't know. I feel like that's a big can of worms. How do you feel about that?
So when you say love men with less conditions, because that can be one or two ways. Like, are they saying that women will allow men to do more and still love them, or men will allow
So that like men don't have these expectations on women. Like they have less expectations for their woman than, their woman has like expectations for them. Like they're basically saying that they're more lenient with girls or whatever. And that the women just have like higher like demands. But one of the guys, he had made a remark and he was like, that doesn't sound like love. That just sounds like desperation from a man's side. Like if you're not like giving loving conditions, if that makes sense.
Because in the scenario of cheating, I mean, I don't think no man gonna want his woman to be out there cheating and vice versa. So with those conditions,
I don't even think that's just really a condition, honestly.
Unless he's saying that, because I guess the way I was looking at it at first was like with men
having less requirements.
Right. That's what, and I think that was like one of the points. Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I feel like men do have less requirements of women because you ask a woman what they want of a man. He need to be six something, need to be rich, he need to have a car, need to have. They can run down a list.
Gotta love his mama.
He gotta love his mama. How do we take care of his kids and all this stuff? So we men don't have those lists. We just say, I want a woman to love me, right? I want love. And if a man wants love and a woman wants security, once you love, it's just love. Mm-hmm. But you can always get more security, become more secure. So there are levels to security that someone can come along and make you feel more secure, have more money, have more assets, have more houses, have more everything. And a lot of, I've heard of, women saying, I'm gonna go with the one with the most money. I'm gonna go with the one with this. And love is love to a man. Once you love her, it's just love. Can I go get more love or, but security is a little more different. It has more levels to that.
I will say to that, I think, yes, women are more upfront with their requirements, but men also have requirements. I don't want a woman who's outside all the time. She need to be in the house. She don't need to be at the club all the time. She don't need to wear this. She don't need to have this many kids. She don't need to have this many baby daddies.
She don't need to have a high body count.
Yeah, and I mean that's just self-respect as far as the body count goes. So I don't even really, but it's just like because women are more loud about their requirements, it seems like we have more requirements than men have. Men also have their requirements. And also, I'm just saying, you can't be upset about somebody's requirements. Me personally, I just don't think you can. It's either you meet the requirements, step up, meet the requirements, or bow out and let somebody else win.
Or if it is a point where I'm not fooling with the requirements, then I mean that ain't the person for you. You go on to the next best thing. But to say that men don't have requirements outside of just, and not just in your example, because I know this is not you, but you said that most time men just want to be loved and respected.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So do y'all settle? Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just saying, do men settle in that area?
I don't think men settle. I don't think men settle at all, because I feel like according to what Morgan was just saying, just because you are not speaking out what your requirements are, that don't mean that they're not there.
Well,
because when I'm looking at that little red balloon show, I don't know what it's called.
Pop the balloon with Armani Arlette.
But when I be watching that, I be hearing a whole bunch of requirements coming from men. Right. So I can't say that men don't have requirements. Now I feel like their requirements not be as superficial.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're more shallow and superficial.
Yeah,
absolutely. There may be a little women's.
It's really based on characteristics of what they're looking for. Some of them, but as far as none, I can't believe men don't have requirements.
Absolutely,
I definitely think.
I definitely didn't say none.
Everybody has requirements.
No.
Piggyback on what he said about like the finances or the love aspect. Let's just go ahead. Understanding security, finances, whatever you want to call it. It's all intertwined in a relationship. Trust me, it is. But my point in saying is though, it's like with love, there are different ways. Like not one person is loved the same as another person.
Correct.
Like
Correct.
For me, I'm not gonna say what makes me feel loved per se, but just an example is just like, okay, yeah, you're here all the time. You're cool to be around. okay, anybody can be cool to be around or here all the time. Love is just like, okay, can I be around you when the world is crumbling? You don't have to say a word. You know what I'm saying? Is that comfort? Or do I not find annoyance in when you say things? You know what I'm saying? Because like sometimes, like, I'm pretty sure he could back it up. He has a wife. It could be something she say, just be like, all right. or like, that's annoying. But but it's like with love in that scenario, it's just like, okay, she did this. She gonna do it. I know she's gonna do it. But it's like, it's not gonna up the level of me like, oh, I'm just gonna go out here with other women because she's ticking me off. She's messing with my mentality. But no, that's different. But with the
finances,
not finances, security is just, you can find security in yourself. Like, I think Will Smith and Jada Pinkett said it the best, because this is like, I can't be your happiness for you.
Yeah,
right. Like, you can't find your happiness in me, because what if we're not together anymore? You're just not going to be happy ever again.
Yeah, you need to have security.
But I do think you can find happiness in someone. I just don't think that should be your only source.
It's not complete happiness.
I think you find happiness in the time you spend with the person, not necessarily the actual person.
I think you can find happiness in an actual person, because there's actual people who don't make me happy at all, and I don't.
There's some people that's genuinely cool to be around.
It's absolutely not.
It's a different level of happiness.
I guess I feel like love. If you love me, then you'll respect me.
Right.
Then you will limit other men's access to you. If you love me, love is the big ticket item. But I know a lot of women who get married for security, not love at all.
Yes. Absolutely.
But you don't find men that gonna marry somebody they don't love.
Right.
That just typically doesn't happen.
But
typically,
I know I agree with you.
You see what I'm saying? So the love, like, if she got the base, if she loves me, we can grow together. We can compromise, because love will bring compromise.
Yes, it's a constant
security, not necessarily. You can just take care of me, and I'll just be there. You know,
when we divorce, I'm trying to find a way to take half of your stuff.
So we do see the dynamic moving today, where women want the security, they want the money. I don't want to marry a broke guy. I got this guy. Even if the broke guy loves me the most, this guy can take care of me better. So when I just feel like that's why women, they initiate almost 70% of divorces, because they'll fly to where they feel more comfortable. Yeah. Where men are just, if I love you, I'll stick it out and stay. Mm-hmm. We don't initiate divorce in the same way.
Well, but in her scenario though, that she was like, these men have women girlfriends, but they're still out there. That's what I was trying to.
So I know I'm talking about something different.
Yeah, you are, because I was. But in her scenario, because to me that's not love. Just in your scenario, that's not your scenario at all.
No.
Because if you love someone, you're not gonna be like, okay, I'm stepping out on them, but she has more requirements, but we're together and I'm sleeping around on her. Yeah. So I guess I don't understand that conversation.
Yeah, I think I need to see more of that podcast video, to see really the gist of what they were saying.
It just sounds like they causing problems and then get mad when the person addresses the problem.
Well, I think the way I took it was like women would take more from a man. Like as far as they're in a relationship and they're stepping out on that person, and a woman would take that more so than a man would take that if it was vice versa. That's what I'm looking at. That's the only way that it can make sense to me.
I mean, I understand, but I got a couple bros that have stayed through some.
Yeah, me too. I know them too.
I'm just like, boy, it's a lot of more fish.
And maybe they stay because it's cheaper to keep her. Exactly. And they don't want to let the court system break them up, but they stay.
Yeah,
these guys don't go nowhere, and these women be stepping out, and they know it, and they still stay for maybe multiple reasons. I'm not sure.
Hey, he comes into that category, but the category, I feel like with the whole requirement thing, if he's stepping out, then that's not really love at all.
That's what another guy was saying.
I think if you are to the point where your partner has so many requirements that you want to step out, then you probably shouldn't be in that relationship.
Conversation.
Because I'm trying to figure out where the requirements come in and where the stepping out comes in. Yeah. Like where that adds up.
Unless there's something y'all talked about in the beginning.
Yeah, like what universe you in.
Yeah, like what story. We need the backstory of something or the conversation that was
had.
But
I was seeing it the way you seeing in
I
it.
did
Like,
too, yeah.
like they have so many requirements, so you stepping out because she got all these requirements.
Right. I'm
She
gonna
making me feel some kind of way, so I'm going over here and doing my own
and I'm
thing.
gonna come back.
But
I'm
I'm a leave.
Yeah.
But I ain't gonna leave her though.
I
her.
got almost every homeboy I have, not all of them. So I like 3 of them. The main 3 I be around, they not like that. But the majority of the other ones definitely say they wives or baby mama, girlfriend, whatever you want to say, is too much, and they go do what they do, and they come back and they want to complain about the baby mama or the wife complaining about the stuff that you went and did. So yes, I do think a lot of men have
that.
But
More
see, to the
problems to your
it's gonna one, it adds more problems, and 2, you going out doing what you want to do, but who you doing what you want to do with, she ain't seeing the other side of you that the wife or the baby mama is seeing.
Right.
She ain't seeing the dirty draws. She ain't seeing that you ain't picking up around the house. She ain't seeing that you got your little stank attitude.
Right.
And not to say that she ain't having none of those things
Right,
either.
yeah.
That's not what I'm saying. But for the requirements, you as the guy may would look at it like, oh well, you just nagging, you just this, you just this. Nah, this is part of the relationship. I'm in this with you. I'm living here day to day with you. I'm getting up, I'm going to work, I'm cleaning, I'm cooking, I'm doing this, that, and the other. And then when I say something to you, you get mad and think that it gives you a pass to go and step out.
And
absolutely not.
And I think this goes for like anybody who's cheating. It's just y'all create an alternate reality. It's like y'all want a vision, and y'all can control this reality of what somebody sees of you. Because like mom said, you don't have to be at home with them days and days on end. You don't have to have these hard conversations about the security, about the finance, about the kids, because it's just fun and it's just a fling for you, for the other person. And if they don't know, then that's a whole, you just pulled the wool over their eyes and you created an alternate reality, and this is their real life sometimes.
But it ain't even about pulling the wool over their eyes. Sometimes, a lot of times they know.
But I agree. Like when you step out, it's like you see the best of that. But they're only going to show you the best of them. Like you get the Instagram version of them.
Right.
You see when they went to the dive, but you don't see when they can't pay their bills. You know what I'm saying? Like, you get to see that part. You get to see the glimpse. Like your girl, you if you step out with another woman, she gonna be lipstick up and everything. She can go to sleep with no bonnet on, just hair,
just flawless.
But your girl, you gonna see all of them, and with him, you gonna see in a relationship, you gonna see all of that. Person.
Correct.
Even the dirty stuff, not just the stuff you want to show. Yeah, you're gonna see it all, and sometimes stepping out, you get to get the good piece.
You just get
and then try to come home. Part. You know what I'm saying?
It's like you want to eat your own cake too.
That's right, and I hear a lot of men say that they will cheat for peace. Not love or anything else. They will try to go to somewhere that'll make them feel none-nagged and everything like that. And that's the best of that woman. Because if you got all of her, she got all of you, she might not be like that. Of course she wouldn't be.
When she see what the other lady see, she gonna see.
Maybe not.
And I saw a comment too that was like, these women are like viewed as their requirements are like selfish. But like you're just as selfish if you're going out doing what you want to do and you're not catering to somebody that you're committed to.
And then not only going out doing what you want to do, but then you come back and do that with me.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
So I don't want to sleep with her.
And now you're sleeping with everybody that she's
correct.
I
don't want that.
I don't know, like that video, love when the man was like, and our pastor said it, love is a choice. You got to get up every day and decide, we going to stick this out. We going to love each other. Because like when you're upset with somebody, right now, I don't want to be around you, but we gonna make this work. Both people have to want that, and one person can't
want it more than
the other. Right. And another thing, as far as requirements go, I feel like, and this is just my personal feelings, I feel like everybody should have requirements.
You should.
I'm sorry, it's just nobody should go into a relationship with no requirements or nothing, because I feel like that just, you get ran over that way.
It's just what type of requirements.
Absolutely.
So, I don't know if everybody should have requirements like that. I think they should have standards.
Standards.
Yeah, but a requirement is slightly different.
It's totally different.
But I see what you're saying.
I feel like, I'm not no doormat. So it's going to be some stuff that some people not going to compromise on. And if I don't want to, honestly, I don't have to. We throw up all day. Everybody can have their own opinion. Everybody can have their own preference. But then when people speak out on their preference, it's a problem. That's my whole thing.
But you have to be willing to be open and be able to communicate. Because I feel like a lot of times, a lot of the issues in relationships is just miscommunication or non-communication. Or not having effective communication.
Right. We want to shut down whenever something serious comes up, or whenever somebody's feelings come up. I'll shut down. And it's just like, that's not how it should be. But I'm just saying, like, as far as the requirement goes, we always say, oh, this person shouldn't have this requirement. Oh, he want a girl that don't got a high body count. Why can't a girl have a high body count? And then we turn around and then that's just my preference. I want a guy that's 6 feet. That's just my preference. So it's like everybody going, that's just my preference. And when they don't like somebody else. But one
is morals and it can be controlled, and one is from birth. This is
something I cannot
control.
Right,
absolutely.
I can't make myself taller.
And that's the thing. I'm just saying, like, everybody want to throw out I can like who I want. But then when you're not the person you want don't like you, and you're not their preference or their type, you get upset. And now his preferences or her preferences are a problem. So it's just like
we told the man, for her, you move on to the next. You just don't fit into the category.
Yeah.
Right. You're not on my level.
I think with the whole standard thing, like for most people, or the requirements for the women's sake, what they want in a man, I think most of that happens at the beginning of the relationship. And for men, it happens like midway through when he start to come to terms and understanding, like, okay, I do want to be here, but stuff's it's not connecting how I need it to be. So then that's when he starts to find his grievances and might want to step out or might do all that other stuff. Like, it's like women, okay, in the beginning, they want someone that's 6 foot, or he got 800 credit score, he got 2 houses, no kids, a lot of car keys, bank account got more than 7 zeros in it. No, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Like, but some of these people, some women out there do have
that.
You know
what
I'm saying?
The housewives show you perfect example of that.
Right.
But for them to be like that, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but
it goes back to the conversation that Marlon was having last week. I think it kind of, EJ, what you were just saying, it kind of run into how single women with children are teaching their girls,
yes, right,
and how they're teaching their sons. And it's like it's a double standard, because for the girls, you're teaching her to look at these certain qualities, or if a man can't provide this for you, he ain't worth being with. Whereas for the sons, you're teaching him, don't let no woman run over you, or just want you for your money.
That's what I was trying to say.
And it runs into, Marlon talked on that last week about that being a double standard, with how single parents are teaching their kids boy versus girl.
Right, because if you're teaching your girl a man ain't worth it if he don't have these things, then you should be teaching your sons, boy, you better get these things.
Right.
You got to get these things, unless you will be seen as worthless by women. You got to get these things, son. You got to do this. Then that will be in an even way of mentality of thinking. But if you're not, if you're saying leave that girl alone, only thing she wants is your money, and only thing she wants is this, it's like the boy's going to be confused. So they're getting taught that I can do this and be this, but they hit the real world. The real world is telling them, or women out there are telling them, bro, you ain't got it.
And on that point, I wanted to say, because I don't think this is always, but I think a lot of times that mentality and how the world is turning, because a lot of young women are turning this way, this pushes boys into different types of lifestyles to try to impress different girls. I'm not saying, oh, you're doing it because of a girl, because sometimes you're not. But I know a lot of times, I'm just gonna move this weight right here so I can have enough money so she'll like me, or she'll do this. And I think when women have those shallow requirements or shallow standards, it pushes a man into something that you really don't want. Then you're down the line and he provided all this money for you, and you wondering why he can't come home and see his baby, and you gotta talk to him through a phone and some glass.
Right.
Now you mad that he gone for 12
to the
years.
Next. You not mad, you go on to the next that can do it.
It's like that also, that it's just a repeated cycle, because the minute he steps into that world and she receives her first little bit of green, the first thing she wants is the repetition of that same thing. And now she's chasing the other thing. Now she might step out with the next guy because he's big baller. You feel what I'm saying?
Like Marlon was saying, because it's always going to be somebody that's going to have more.
Somebody, cousin Ray Ray's at the funeral frying fish, and more stuff happens.
And I don't know, maybe it's just my family, but I was always taught that I should be able to have it for myself. I'm not depending on a man to do this. I'm not depending on EJ to do this. I'm not depending on EJ to do this, because I don't know. Sometimes I fly off at the mouth with a dude, and you ain't got to do it because I got a dad. My dad will.
But in the grand scheme of things, I think we might have misunderstood some of that, because I feel like once you get a husband, you're gonna have to submit to him. Mm-hmm. And that flying off, you're gonna have to taper that down. A lot of things you're gonna have to keep in check. Absolutely. Once you get a husband. Absolutely. But Deacon Richard just said something. Richard Grimes, what's up, Deacon? He just said something that was very, very important. He said expectations should be discussed, and they should be discussed up front.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
If I have in the dating process, we need to know. I don't need to find out what you really want when we've been together for 4 years. You know what I'm saying? I need to know now, so I can feel. I can realize.
Are we a fit?
Am I gonna fit into that, or do I want to? Those requirements, and likewise, once I give her mind, does she feel like that's something that she can do? We need to talk about it. It needs to be early in the dating process.
But
I want thank you for that, Dick.
It's so important because you find out a lot of things when you're dating someone or just hanging out with someone. It don't need to be, let's jump into this super fast and I don't know anything about you, or now we're getting married, or now we have a baby and I don't know nothing about you. We met 3 months ago and now I'm stuck with you for life, because everybody say, oh, when a kid turns 18, you're not stuck with that person no more. You're stuck with that person for life. That is y'all's kid until y'all go be with the Lord.
Well, I wanted to go back to your statement as far as your upbringing, because we did, whereas we taught you to be able to get those things on your own, but we also taught you that when you meet a man that is going to be your husband and becomes your husband, then y'all are to complement each other.
That's right.
Absolutely.
And it ain't the fact that you're solely independent. Yes, you're an individual outside of him.
Absolutely.
But at that point, y'all work together as a team.
And you're going to know how to get it and take care of yourself whenever you have to.
Right.
But when you with your husband, there's some things that y'all gonna do together that won't be a have to.
And he will take the lead on a lot of those things.
And for me, I'm talking about in the dating stage.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
in the dating stage.
As far as teaching your daughter, oh, I can't go on the first date with him until he pay for my hair and my nails and my makeup and my lashes and.
Absolutely. Yeah, we didn't get down
like
that.
To go out on the club this weekend. No, I'm not paying for that.
Right.
If I even get a second date
with me, your nails gonna be down for the rest of 2 months.
In fact, I want some nails. They got some pop-on ones at the dang Dollar General.
Them my kind of nails. Y'all already know me.
That's right.
All right. Okay, that was a good one, Mary. That's good.
It's 9:15.
Okay.
Do y'all want to go to the next topic?
Yeah, I say if it's something we can handle quickly, we can chop it up before then. Let's go.
I think we can.
What is it? Let's see what it is first.
It's the one that I just said. Y'all want to dissect that next week?
Yeah, I mean, what y'all think?
I think we should say that for a later podcast.
Okay,
I think so.
Because they were more spacious. It's a big. It's not really big, but it's a big.
But it can branch out.
Mary, you want to get into it?
No, I said I feel like we could. So.
Oh yeah, you can go. Yeah, you can go longer than.
But I mean,
what we have left.
I'm done. We probably should start doing a midweek podcast. I think we probably should, because there are a lot of good topics or trending topics that we want to talk about this Monday. Then we'll table it for next Monday, and they're not really trending anymore. Everybody's chopped them up. All the podcasts and talked about them. The news talked about them. So it's like, that was old now.
Yeah.
So maybe we should start doing that at another day, maybe a Wednesday or Thursday or something like that.
How about Thursday?
I'm cool with Thursday. No, Thursday's a gym day.
And it can be a different, because I want to do that podcast different. I want to have it a different feel, maybe different background, different topics. Maybe it's just handled different. So let's think about that.
All right, we're going to think about it. Y'all let us know what you think too. And so we closing out?
Yeah, we can go ahead and close out right now.
All right. Well, we would like to thank all of y'all for, we got a hand.
Wait a minute, y'all. We did not shout out to my brother. He not on the podcast.
Oh, he didn't.
But shout out to my brother.
Your husband.
Shout out to that's my blood.
And that's
shout out to my brother.
Love you, baby.
Shout out to my brother. We love you, bro. Hey, y'all better bring a win home.
All right, son. We miss you. We love you. You stay safe all week, please.
Yes, son. Do your
Text
thing.
me.
Man. I know you will.
Okay, now that we got all that out the way, we want to thank everybody for tuning in and watching us. As always, we appreciate your support, and we just ask for you to start coming. I know in the beginning y'all was putting a whole bunch of comments in the session. I'm not on Marlon's page. I'm on the My Turn My Truth. We want y'all to navigate to the My Turn My Truth Facebook page. We also go, it's also live there. We are also live on YouTube, and we're on all your podcast streaming devices. So hit us up, share, like, subscribe, all of that. So again,
and follow my Instagram.
We love y'all. Thank you for your support, and good night.
Good night.